I'm Keith Spera from NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. Welcome to Let's Talk. The 2000 documentary Forgotten on the Bayou followed a St. Bernard Parish resident on an unusual quest. Frustrated by the slow pace of Hurricane Katrina recovery a year after the storm, he set out to haul a FEMA trailer to Washington, D.C. in the hopes of meeting with President George W. Bush. Against all odds, he succeeded. Forgotten on the Bayou has been re-released for the 20th anniversary of Katrina and will air right here on WLAE on Friday, August 29th at 8 p.m. Here to talk about all that and more is the star of the film, Rocky Vaccarella, and director Steve Scaffidi. Gentlemen, welcome to Let's Talk.
Hey, it's good to be here.
So we have to clarify a point, I think, right from the get-go. Both FEMA and Rocky's wife were opposed to him taking his actual FEMA trailer to Washington, D.C., right? I mean, it was so you guys got like another trailer that you used that stood in for all the FEMA trailers, basically.
Everybody I knew, including my wife, every one of my friends was against this trip. So
a lot of people were.
Everyone was against it, Rocky. Yeah.
When we went, I was filming, and we go to Rocky's wife and we say, hey, we're going to take your FEMA trailer. I knew that was illegal, but I had tried to get permission from FEMA.
And they said no, right?
At first they said, well, you know, they kind of hemmed and hawed because they knew we were getting a lot of news coverage. And then I looked at his trailer and I said, wow, you know, since it's on blocks, his wife said there's no way. But my sister had a trailer that looked exactly like it. And we towed that one.
So it was your sister, and she was cool with that?
She was cool. She was cool.
Did y'all bring it back to her in the same condition you took it?
Not really, but we had signage on it, Rocky's trip to the White House.
Mission, yeah.
That's right, you had people autograph it along the way, and it became, it was like I said, you guys were, you know, you became his folk hero, Rocky, as y'all are traveling across the country, getting all this media attention, you know, CNN, CBS, I mean, all these big networks picked up on the story because it was the classic, like, you know, little guy trying to do something big.
Trying to get there.
What was the initial idea? Because it started out, y'all made the trip in 2006, fall? It was fall of 2006?
A year after Katrina, 2006. So, Rocky, you tell Keith how we met, and then I'll make sure the story's straight.
Okay.
Well, we met when I took the trailer to the White House. I told him I was going there to get George Bush to come rebuild us.
Okay.
A lot of people didn't think it was happening. Steve said he was going to video me to the whole trip. And after that, when we got the trail, I said, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. We took off and went there.
Now, you had never met a president before, Rocky?
Never. No, George Bush was the first president I met.
Is he the only president you've met?
The only one.
The only one you met. Now, did you guys stay in touch after your big meeting?
Yeah, we stayed a little bit in touch.
Did you really?
Yeah, he called me.
He called you on your birthday.
He did. He called me up.
The president called you on your birthday?
Sure did.
Really? Now, did you ever get him to come down and hang out in St. Bernard Parish?
He did. He came down one visit after we rebuilt. He came down to visit the area to see how it took place.
We tried to get him to go to Rocky and Carlos's, but that wasn't happening.
That wasn't happening. Well, you know, security issues. So.
Let's go back to the beginning real quick. So the first time I met you, all right, let me make sure you remember this, okay? He comes walking in, he calls me out of the blue. My name's in the news for a variety of reasons regarding film industry. Right. So he knew me. And then he called me up and says, hey, I got this footage of me on the roof, Katrina riding it out with my son. I had no intention of making a film, all right? I lost my house on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Katrina took it. I was in Houston, Texas with a lot of other people at a hotel because that's where we evacuated to. So I wasn't even here. Make a long story short, that accent got me out of the gate. So I said,
what accent? I don't hear an accent.
The Italian accent.
So I said, be a St. Bernard. That's right.
He hooked me.
Deep South.
Some kind of way he hooked me. And I said, okay, I'll meet you at the coffee shop. I gave him the address. It was in Kenner. I made him drive all the way out to Kenner, by the way, and he lives in St. Bernard. So I figured if he did that, okay, maybe, you know, he's serious. He walks in, he's got an entourage, 3 other Italian guys. I'm like, what? So
After the Miro Mafia. Yeah, after the Miro Mafia.
After the meet and greet, one of his guys, all he was interested in was selling me the footage and me turning it into a movie, but he wanted me to pay him, and it was in the six figures. Oh my. I looked at him like he was crazy. So I said, hey, maybe that's a news story. Take it to Channel 8, Channel 4, whatever. I thought I'd never see these guys again. 2 weeks go by, I get a phone call from Rocky. He says, hey, I'm sorry about the last meeting, it didn't go so well. He said, but just you and me, come on down to St. Bernard. And I said, you and me only, I made him promise, pinky swear, the whole bit.
Right.
I showed up, he said, I'm gonna change your life. I'm gonna show you something you've never seen before. He takes me from his house, we go 2 or 3 blocks down the road, we make the corner, and there's a 75-foot shrimp boat in the middle of somebody's yard, and the front of the boat was that far from the front door. Didn't touch the house. And at that point, I had my camera with me, and I'm pretty sharp when it comes to seeing something and saying, hey, that's a story. I said, Rocky, get out there, stand right in front of the boat and tell me what you see. I had the mic on the camera, I'm rolling. That shot is in the film. And when I got back to my edit suite, I looked at it and I said, I got something special with this guy.
That started. Now you mentioned the footage of Rocky on the roof. Let's talk about that, because that's in the documentary and Forgotten on the Bayou. This footage that is you and your son Luke on the roof of your house in Miro. The water is up basically over the gutter cans. You guys are just on a little patch of the roof. And my understanding, originally you wanted to go in the attic at first, right? And it was Luke that said, no, we got to go on the roof.
Yeah, we both said, let's get on the roof.
Okay.
But he said, Daddy, let's get on the roof. He went first. Then he says, can you swim over here? I said, no. He said, I'm gonna throw you the rope. He threw me a rope and pulled me up.
And and Luke, he was what, 20, 21? He was
Luke was about 18 at that time.
About 18 at
that time.
He was
young.
Yeah, he was young.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of those the decisions. Had y'all gone in the attic, I mean, you might have drowned in there.
We could have died.
You'd have been gone.
Absolutely.
You would have been gone, bro.
Yeah. So that's just one of those quick decisions you had to make right there that ended up being life and death, really.
You're right.
And it was your brother that shot the footage of you guys on the roof?
Yes, my brother Johnny.
So he was on the roof of a neighboring house?
Yeah, across the street.
Across the street. Yeah. Well, across the river, because the street had become a river at that point.
Absolutely, across the storm water.
Just that right there, that footage takes you back. I mean, to see you guys, on that little corner of the roof, hanging on this little island, man.
Yeah. That was unbelievable.
It was crazy. It was crazy. So the fact that you all survived, and you were stranded on that roof for hours, right?
Yep.
And were you rescued by boat then eventually? Did you get out by boat? By boat.
Yep.
Okay.
By a boat.
Okay. All right. So
that's what my brother came over there in a boat.
And picked y'all up.
Yep.
When I saw that footage, it was incredible.
He just said, Rocky, can you swim over here? I'm gonna throw you a rope, and he threw me the rope.
But when I met you, that's what sealed the deal for me.
Right.
And when you stood in front of that shrimp boat and you just, from the heart, I said, what do you see? Tell me what's happening here. And you delivered it, one take only, and it made the final cut of the film. I mean, I knew it was special.
It's heavy footage. It's heavy footage. If you're just tuning in, my guests today are Rocky Vaccarella and Steve Scaffidi, the star and director of the documentary Forgotten on the Bayou. So the road trip begins. You guys got this trailer. How many people were traveling with y'all about?
We had a crew of about 10 of us.
Okay. And how many vehicles? It was
4 or 5.
Okay.
So we had a truck. I met a guy in a bar. I needed a truck driver. I met him in a bar in Old Metairie, and I said, I'm telling the story, and I'm looking for a guy to drive a truck. I didn't even own a truck back then, to pull the trailer. And I had very little money. I did raise some money through family and friends to put this thing on the road, and I wanted a caravan. And I even had one of my best friends in the world, Al Paez, on a motorcycle, leading the way with the American flag on the back of his motorcycle, and then all of us. So the trailer and then all the cars. And we all had signage, and we were going down the road. And I wanted to turn it into a media circus. That's the only way we're ever going to get to George Bush.
So just to be clear, when you guys set out, you had no guarantee at all that you were going to meet with the president.
no.
Zero.
No,
they told us, don't come. Can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
It's in the film, but I don't want to give away everything. One of my favorite scenes is when Rocky writes the letter to Bush.
Yep.
And he hand writes the letter.
Yep.
Remember that scene?
Yep.
And what did he do? He put it in a regular mailbox on the side. No, that was in Metairie.
Oh, that was in Metairie, okay.
Yeah. But it's right down the block from where he wrote the letter, because it was in my edit suite.
Okay.
So I shot it there. He wrote the letter. There's a mailbox right outside. He puts it in. And I wanted that letter go straight to the White House. Well, what's the chances of that letter actually ever getting to George Bush?
Similar to a letter getting to Santa Claus? I don't know.
So I had him write 2 letters. And the other one, I FedExed it with return receipt. And so somebody had to sign for it. And I knew, okay, they saw it.
So that one was signed for at the White House.
So I don't know which one they actually saw. Maybe they saw both of them. But I think we were smart enough to say, okay, we're not going to trust that little mailbox right there. We're going to send it, return receipt. Somebody had to sign. So I get it back, and I knew, okay, the minute you contact the White House, you're on the radar of the Secret Service. So my phone started to ring with a number 1 in it.
A number 1, just a 1?
Just a 1.
Yeah. And
pick it up, nothing. Pick it up, nothing. That happened to me for 2 years.
Is that the Secret Service checking in on you?
I think it's Uncle Sam checking some. But and then I get a call down the road from George Bush's right-hand person saying he wanted to talk to Rocky, and he was on Air Force One. So I mean, that's how far it went.
Okay.
That's how far it went.
Okay. So wait, so you had some indication. So the call you got from Air Force One was an indication that the president.
Well, the call from Air Force One was after the fact, saying, "Hey, great to meet you guys."
Okay.
That was at the end.
Okay.
But in the beginning, don't come.
Don't come.
Don't come. And you know what? When we took off from St. Bernard, every news station in this city was there.
Sure.
That's how it started. And so all of a sudden, by the time we hit Atlanta, we're live on national television with CNN. Sure. By the time we hit South Carolina, we're on the Today Show live. The whole time the White House, can you picture this? A whiteboard inside the White House, right? And they got, okay, we got the Middle East crisis over here, and we got Russia over here, and there's this little trailer in Rocky with a little arrow. What are we going to do about these guys?
We on our way.
We on our way, right. That's right. You in the Middle East, what are the issues they were dealing with? Rocky is Rocky.
What are we going to do with this guy?
Yeah, what are we going to do with Rocky? Ooh. So y'all get up there, you get to Washington, D.C. You've had all this attention along the way. It's become a circus. The media's there with you in D.C. They send out the czar of the Gulf Coast recovery effort, Donald Powell.
Yes.
He comes out to meet with you guys. So this is now at least a important official with the administration. So at that point, you're making some progress, right?
They threw us a bone.
They threw us a bone.
I was on the phone with DJ Norquist. She was her office was right down the hallway from George Bush, okay? But she's basically a White House aide at the time. Now, she was up there, but she kept calling me, Steve, this ain't happening. Steve, turn around, go home. I said, we're coming. So we were smart enough. I reserved a city block with all the parking, and we had a perfect look at the Capitol. So there was green space between us and the Capitol. I owned the street. I booked it through the film office in D.C. When we made that turn to pull up, Rocky, tell him what happened.
The president came out.
No, not yet.
That was later.
Oh, when we came to
every satellite truck, remember that?
Yeah, all of them pulled up the videos.
As soon as we got out, every satellite truck imaginable, there must have been 50 of them.
Wow.
Came up.
When we pulled up, every camera, it was like the Beatles.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to interview me. They wanted to interview this guy.
Like the Beatles, not Rocky Raccoon. It was Rocky Vaccarella. That was the Beatle of the day.
They were waiting for us when we made that turn. They came out on us.
So tell them, what happened when the cameras were out? What were they doing with you?
They was wondering why I came up there, for one. Mm-hmm. They wanted to know the reason and what was my mission. And I kind of told them.
And your mission was basically just to
come rebuild it.
To remind folks
that we were forgotten about.
That you were forgotten on the bayou.
Forgotten on the bayou. That's the whole thing. Yeah.
Right. And that was nothing more than that. I mean, you didn't want
my whole intention was to get George Bush and everybody to come rebuild St. Bernard Parish in the deep south of America.
Well, and you'd spent your life in St. Bernard Parish. It was a very precious, dear place to you. So yeah, obviously it hurt to see it destroyed like that. Big time. Yeah. So this was your effort. This is what you could do to help speed the recovery along.
You're right.
Okay. So you guys meet with the recovery czar. And then he says to you all, I think I can get you in to see the president.
Yes.
Yep.
So then it's real.
It's real. And the sun was setting. So it didn't happen that quick. So he had the dinner on the street. We did some really good Louisiana seafood, right? We're grilling shrimp and we got stuffed mushrooms with crab meat. I mean, we did it right.
Yeah.
I had a real chef come with us. Okay. Jason from, I can't remember his last name. Anyway. So we had this great meal. Every camera's there. They're loving it. He's eating. Donald Powell's eating on national news. And the next thing you know, the sun's about to set. And the German reporters, remember when they told us, there's no way in hell he's going to see
meet with us.
Right? I mean, they just were laughing at us.
Yeah.
Right?
The reporters, the other reporters were saying there's no way to see it.
I remember these two German guys from Germany. There's no way. Okay. The next thing you know, the sun's about to set. Everybody's pretty much gone at this time, except one reporter. I think he's from DC or whatever. I never will forget this guy. He's in the film. Yeah. And he was the only one left, and he wanted to do one more live shot with us. And that's when Powell gets the call.
Right.
And that's when he comes to us. And he says, I think I can get you in. And I had the camera rolling, man.
I saw that scene. Yes,
and that's when
he got it.
And that's when, I think it was Rocky's line when he said, if Bush can meet Chu Feng Hung from China, he can meet Rocky Vaccarella from St. Bernard. I think that was the one that did it.
That's awesome. If you're just tuning in, my guests today are Rocky Vaccarella and Steve Scaffidi, the star and director of the documentary Forgotten on the Bayou. So you get there, you go into the White House. Steve, obviously you wanted to film the actual meeting of Rocky and President Bush, and they wouldn't let that happen. You had to be disappointed. I mean, you're in there with your camera talking to security, and they won't let you go.
Well, you know how that happened.
I don't.
So
that's why I'm asking you.
I put the camera through security. Trust me, we're going into the White House. We're in the Rose Garden. They got the two Marines at the door. Rocky salutes. They told me, from the gate, turn off your camera, you cannot roll. Well, what did I do?
You were rolling.
I'm rolling.
There's footage in the film of people's knees as you got the camera down.
But I'm holding the camera down here like I turned off the lights so nobody knows I'm rolling. There's no way I went that far not to roll. So I'm rolling, there's Secret Service. I knew I can't show their face. So the camera stopped here. And I couldn't even, I'm not looking through the viewfinder, so I'm clueless, right? And I'm shooting like that, and they welcome us. Hey, how you doing? And they even showed us around like, oh, that's where the president, and I'm shooting.
Right, right.
I probably broke every rule in the book. Hey, I think we're, what do you call it, 20 years later, I think.
Everything's cool, yeah.
But, then Rocky, at that point, he goes up and I'm down, and now I'm stuck in the Rose Garden with all the other press. But tell Keith.
And I'm up in the Oval Office with George Bush.
So how did it go? How did the president greet you? Was he handshake and say,
yes, he shook my hand. He said, come on in. He said that I was a plain-spoken guy.
Okay.
A fella he felt comfortable talking to. He sat me down. He said, Rocky, we're going to come rebuild it.
Oh, God.
And then he wanted to know what made me get the expression or the ambition to go up there and meet with him.
Right. Okay. So he wanted to know what inspired you to do it.
Exactly.
All right. So it sounds like he was very cordial, very friendly.
He definitely was, yeah.
He invited you to sit down where all the leaders sit. So you're in the Oval Office,
right? All the state representatives, all of them.
He's in the chair where the big chiefs sit. I think that's exactly the way you phrased it.
In the Oval Office.
In the Oval Office.
Yeah.
So then after y'all meet.
I got pictures of that. It's on video.
That's awesome. After y'all meet, y'all walk out, you and the president walk out into the Rose Garden to talk to the media. You mentioned at that point, I think, that the president had told you some things that you needed to keep secret, I think, or some things on a down low. What do you remember what that was, what he was talking to you about that he didn't want you to say at the time?
He didn't want me to say about who was responsible, because I still said they blew the levees. Mm-hmm. And he didn't want me to go into that situation.
Okay.
So
So he wanted you to keep all that, not
all of that to myself. That's your opinion, you know. They said the water just came over the levees, and I said they blew the levees.
All right. So he didn't want you to talk
to get into that situation.
All right. So he wasn't sharing with you any secret plans to,
nope, not at all.
for the Middle East or anything.
Nope.
No, you didn't get into all that.
Not at all.
Not at all. It was just a very cordial meeting.
Everyone.
Very cordial. Well, no, and yeah, you seemed like you had a good time with him. I mean,
I did. I had a great time with President Bush.
You famously came out and said you wish he could have 4 more years.
I said that. I said if we have this president 4 more years, we'll be all right.
Can I say something about that?
That was crazy.
Okay. I'm in the Rose Garden with all these, every news organization, it seemed like, in the world, right? I mean, you saw that shot.
Yeah.
Okay. When he said 4 more years, first of all, my heart sank, my jaw hit the ground. I was like, I'm looking at other people, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, did he just say that? Let me tell you.
He met with a personal guy.
And I had my agent in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Everybody I knew, you got to cut that out of the film. You got to cut it out. You can't put that in the film. There's no way. I said, you know what? It's part of history. It was on the national news. What kind of filmmaker would I be? Because he said it.
Yeah.
It's got to stay. It's got to stay.
Can't hold that back.
And so
hold it back, no.
What I did was, after the fact, just to be cool about it, I pulled him aside and I put the camera on him. I said, Rocky, why did you say that? I can't believe I said it. I can't, okay. At least I got, because he told me that personally. Right. I said, okay, let me put that on camera. At least, you realize that you were a knucklehead by saying that. Okay, great.
I admitted it.
You admitted it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So in the last 4 or 5 minutes that we have left here, I mean, Rocky, did the film and that trip change your life? Is that safe to say?
I say it did change my life, because it gave me a different outlook on what politics are about, mm-hmm. and how to handle it when situations of that magnitude come in place.
Do you think that ultimately your journey helped the recovery in St. Bernard?
Absolutely did.
Yeah?
He came back and he rebuilt it. So
you think it was definitely worth it?
It was definitely proper to do. And yeah, I say if I could do it again, I would.
Well, I mean, is that, you think that's the biggest thing you've done in your life? Is that the most...
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's one of the most proudest things I did. I helped open the first Popeye's chicken in the world.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty big too, I guess.
Araby, Louisiana, 1980 was the first one in the world. I was 15 years old with Al Cope, and we opened the first one in the world.
Wow. So wait, you were working there?
Yeah.
All right, so you opened the first Popeyes and you met with President Bush about Katrina. I mean, those are two pretty good ones right there.
And you know what else I did?
Huh.
I worked for Pizza Hut after Popeyes with the largest African-American franchisee in Pizza Hut history.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, what's a little bit of history right there too?
A man named Larry Lundy.
Larry Lundy, yeah, sure, absolutely, big businessman.
He's a folk hero.
Well, a folk hero, that's right. I mean, still, do people recognize you on the street down there in St. Bernard? Still?
They know who I am.
Well, all right, so you eventually moved back into your original house that was flooded during the storm, and you still live down in Miro. You, in the 20 years since the storm, I mean, you've had, I guess, ups and downs. You've been dealing with some health issues recently?
Well, that's what they say. I got bit by a mosquito building a pond. I have encephalitis.
Encephalitis, which causes swelling in the brain?
Swelling in the brain. It affects my short-term memory. My long-term will never go away. My short-term's there.
Wow. Digging a pond. Think about all that. I mean, all you went through in the storm, you survived all that, and then you get bit by a mosquito. Digging a pond.
It's unbelievable.
That's what they say.
That's crazy. Well, the last couple minutes here, I mean, it's the 20th anniversary of the storm here as we're talking. I mean, for both of you guys, reflecting back, where do you think we are? Where are you, where are you all personally? I mean, is Katrina still something that factors into your lives on a daily basis? Do you still think about it quite a bit?
This particular film, I've made several films over the years. This one's very, very special, simply because we did something nobody else thought was possible. It won every film festival we entered it in. And we were rejected by our own film festival right here in New Orleans. They didn't take the film. And that blows my mind. Yeah. We won the Humanitarian Vision Award. It's just San Diego Film Society flew Rocky and I out with a couple of people from the film and 2 sold out screenings on their dime in San Diego. So I mean, and from my point of view, it's one of my best works simply because it's just so honest and it is what it is, man. It's nothing fancy, but it's great storytelling because it's real.
It's a true story.
It's a true story. And Rocky, for you, I mean, 20 years after the storm, I mean, is Katrina still something that factors into your life on a daily basis?
Well, it does. And not a daily basis. I think about it, maybe weekly, monthly. But no, the biggest thing that happened in my life, I lost one of my sons.
That's right.
He passed away.
Before the storm. Yeah, before the storm. Yeah. Right.
So that was the biggest thing that affected me, I believe, in my life.
Right, in your personal life.
Yep. And if it wasn't for my son Luke, I wouldn't be here because he's the one who came and threw me the rope, pulled me to the boat, and we got out. He saved his daddy's life.
And now 20 years, well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have something to live for right now. I got Luke, my grandkids, my granddaughter. I got a whole life to live.
And you've seen a lot of Muro and St. Bernard Parish get rebuilt.
They absolutely did.
And it's doing well. So
very good.
Well, congratulations on the part you played in the recovery, Steve. Congratulations on documenting this incredible chapter in that strange world that was the post-Katrina universe.
Thank you very much for having us.
You bet. Once again, this has been Rocky Vaccarella and Steve Scaffidi from the documentary Forgotten on the Bayou. I am Keith Spera. We'll see you next time on Let's Talk.